Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Cricket Lads, where we try bringing you some candid conversations among the fans of this beautiful game of cricket. So, almost 2 days have passed by, and I'm still in hangover of something which looked unreal to many people, but not that team of 15 who were there in the Australia. And they did something which will go down in the history of cricket as one of the monumental wins, exceptionally well fought on foreign soil. So today I'll introduce everyone to someone like Surinder ji, who is from joining with us live from United Kingdom, who is a very passionate fan, has been following cricket for so many years. And alongside me, we also have Deep, who is as passionate as anyone in this game of cricket and has been analyzing cricket a lot. So today I'll start with a very basic question. I'll ask both of you. How do you rate Test cricket? If I may ask you, first of all, Deep, you have three forms of cricket. You have ODI, you have Test, and you have T20. So among these three, if you have to rate from 1 to 3, whom will you prefer first? And be honest.
So right. So for me, Test cricket is the purest form of cricket. So the name Test, it really tests the skill set of any batsman, bowler, wicketkeeper, or anyone per se. So it really tests your skill set. So that's why I'll always put Test cricket as one of the purest and best form of cricket. And then I'll have T20 because T20 tests a different kind of skill set. And then I'll put one day internationals. So the reason why I have put one day internationals at the bottom is because it is a mixture of test cricket and ODI cricket. For some time, when the wickets fall, you see the kind of patience that the batsmen show, the kind of skill set that is required in any test player. And then in the slog overs, you see the skill set that is shown in any T20 game by the T20. We call them the attacking batsmen or aggressors. So this will be my preference order.
Yeah, in my opinion, also, Test cricket, according to me, if you ask me, I think it is the closest that a sport can come to our life. In our life, we do get two chances very often, and so does in Test cricket. If you look at someone like Shubman Gill, he didn't score in the first innings, but he got a chance and he proved himself to be a worthy opener for India. My same question will be to you also, sir. What, according to you, stands first?
Test cricket, 100%. 100% Test cricket. Technique wise, attitude, patience, the purest form of the game. Two teams really fighting it out for 5 days. And ultimately, the best team does win the series. So even if you think about the last series, India dominated how many sessions in the series? India dominated, 80% of the sessions, in my opinion, and they went on to win the series, which was correct. And I think even I've not done the research, but they lost a lot of the tosses as well. Yeah, so Ajinkya Rahane and Virat Kohli, they lost a lot of the toss and they still won. That's what makes this series the most remarkable series ever, because India lost the tosses and they went on to win the series and they had a depletion. So Test cricket always number one for me. Number two, I'm going to go for ODI. And again, the ODI is for a cricket fan to have a whole day at the stadium watching two teams battle it out. For me, I love it. Yeah, I love the atmosphere with ODI. T20, you do get the same buzz, but T20 is over too quickly. So for a pure cricket lover, I would always put ODI second, and then third, I put T20. Put in the IPL and ask me the IPL, then I would move the IPL. I would say T20 is second. So that's the way I kind of think about it. But I always say Test cricket is the ultimate form of cricket.
So, what, according to you, sir, you have been watching this game for very long, at least long than I would have known. But what stands out in Test cricket? Because obviously it's the oldest form of the cricket, and It's test cricket nowadays that our T20 has come, our ODI has come. So what makes this form of the game unique, or maybe different from others, or something which actually has played a really good impact, is especially on Indians for the past 1 month or so?
It's the fact that the game actually tests your ability. So the ground, you don't know what's going to happen to the ground. The ball, after 30 to 40 overs, you don't know what's going to happen with the ball. The first 10 overs of the new ball, you don't. It's the facets of the game. The facets of the game make it more interesting. T20, if a team bats first and gets 210, 215 runs, the chances are they're going to win. They're going to win the match. So in that sense, it's quite easy. But with a test match, and you see India, they were 30 runs behind. Australia, up until the fourth day, the fifth day, the last hour, that match had 3 or 4 outcomes. The tie was even mentioned by many commentators. So if you have that much opportunities, it makes the game interesting and exciting. And again, as I always said, if there's a fifth day of a test match, every fan that wants to go to the cricket ground should be allowed to go free of charge.
Your thoughts, Deep?
Right. So I want to add to what Surinderji said, that if you are selected in the playing 11 to play a test match and to represent your nation, and especially in India, out of those 1.5 billion people, you got to be the best. You don't see a lot of players playing test cricket for India. So many players, they have played limited overs cricket first, and then they have come to test cricket. You take Shubman Gill, you take Washington Sundar, you take Shardul Thakur, you take Natarajan, all of these. So they have come from limited over cricket, and then the team included them into test cricket, right? So even from a team's perspective, you need to be very skilled in order to be included in the test team. So that's why test cricket is, I'll again say, is the purest form of cricket, and it will always be the best form of cricket.
Right, right. And now I'm going to ask a very different question. Just leave aside this series of India Australia. Before that, I didn't recall any series happening where the match was going to fourth day, fifth day. And if you leave the first match as well, where the match ended in 3 days or 4 days. So, what according to you is the enemy of Test cricket? Is it T20 cricket, or maybe ODI cricket for that matter?
We okay. I don't think so. I think the three games they can survive as much as individually. I don't see a problem where T20 will have its fan base, yeah, which is a different fan base to ODI. ODI will have its fan base, which is different to Test cricket. So realistically, the three forms of the game, it's good for cricket. As long as cricket is being played and it's competitive and it's enjoyable, people will be there. The problem, I think, is the younger generation do not have patience. I think that is going to be the big downfall for Test cricket. Even now, sponsors are, thinking of 4 days, 5 days, it's not going to last, or they look at that. I think that is a bigger problem for Test cricket, and TV schedules and match schedules. I think that is more of a problem. But the games are so different, and now India can field, a different 11 playing 11 in all formats. They've got the players to do it. In smaller countries like England, again, if you don't get the star players playing in a certain format, you don't get the gate. But I think like countries like India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, these countries, you probably will still get a large crowd because it's cricket. So that's the difference. I don't think don't see the game as a threat. I see the audience, the sponsorship, the TV rights. I think that's more of a threat of them than the actual cricket game.
Yeah, yeah. That's a very valid point made. Deep, I want to ask you on the same note. Do you think in countries like India, where you're not allowed to take anything inside, whether it is eatable or anything, you will have to buy it in the stadium. So is that a factor which actually discourages the audience to be there for 7 to 8 hours? Do not have, you're not allowed to carry something, unlike where we see in countries like England, Australia, they're all drinking and eating anything they want. So is that something which actually demotivates the audience?
No, I don't think so. I definitely don't think so. Because when I go, I personally, so this is my opinion from my experiences. When I go and watch a match in India in stadiums, what I want to see is a tough competition. Because we don't see a tough competition in Test cricket when a visiting team comes to India. So we usually see the home team, the Indian team dominating the test matches in India. So we usually see one-sided matches, one-sided sessions. So when there are one-sided sessions, we want to see the Indian batsmen dominating the sessions, right? And for that, you need to have the patience, as Surinderji said, right? So, but there is another factor, which is when we as a team, when we go outside and play in countries like England, South Africa, and Australia, then we see that there is tough competition. Indian bowlers especially, they are giving tough competitions and using those conditions really well. So that's why this India Australia series attracted so many viewers from all over the world, because we saw that a visiting team dominated Australia in Australia. If similar thing would have happened in India, like the if England would have come to India and dominated on Indian soil, especially the spinners would have dominated on Indian soil, we will see that in the next match, we will see all the stadium will be filled.
Right, right, right. That, that's one of the good points. And also, I think if you see how the cricket is going, someone like Hanuma Vihari or maybe Chiteshwar Pujara, they play very well in this format, but yet they are not being, bought by any of the IPL franchises. But that hasn't been the case for T20. You see players like Natarajan or maybe players like Washington Sundar who actually have not played that much first class cricket, but they got their position in the team from the IPL franchise. So is that something a benchmark is IPL? You sort of get famous there, and then you get picked in the team.
It's a difficult one because, as I said, the thing is, if you look at Washington Sundar and Natranjan, the fact is they are playing pressure cricket. Yeah. So to play pressure cricket, to be calm under pressure, for 5 days is a skill. And whereas if you can play ODI or limited overs cricket in India, the pressure only comes in when the games matter. So the people are not getting exposed to that. So I think Natranjan, a left arm seam bowler, you look at the left arm seam bowling option, it was a good call for India to bring that in. And then also with Washington Sundar, the dual skills of batting and bowling, he was a perfect replacement for Jadeja. So, and again, they've got to get into the test team. And obviously, what India are trying to do is try to get them into the team slowly and surely. So when the big players leave, these players are already getting the experience to come into the first team. So as I said, it is the skill level, and we can't argue because now they've played in Australia, they have the confidence. Now it's going to be very interesting how the England series goes, because you've got established players coming back into the team. You've got a captain who personally I would not have as captain. I'd rather have Ajinkya Rahane as the captain, because what he's done with the resources, I think Kohli could not do. So that's my point, and I really think it's something that the management will now look into, because we're no longer reliant on Virat Kohli. He can go home, stay home with Anushka ji, and have more babies. We can survive. We can survive without him.
No, that's a good one. Deep, do you think with T20 cricket coming in, is the way how this format is being played, the longer format, Test cricket, is it changing? Because we saw people criticizing Chiteshwar Pujara. We saw people, some legends of the game like Ricky Ponting having a go at Chiteshwar Pujara that he wasn't able to score. So is it that T20 cricket or maybe the shortest format is having an impact on the players as well?
I don't think so. So for me, the reason is the World Test Championship and the points table that's there, right? If you win, you get more points. If you draw the test, you get less points. right? So everyone is playing to win the test match. So there is an intent that every player is now showing, and that intent is coming from T20 cricket. So for me, T20 cricket is really helping the players to play in those crucial situations and absorb the pressure, right? The way we have seen, the way Rishabh Pant has progressed, especially in Test cricket, we have seen him playing the new ball very well, and then progressing and increasing the strike rate just like the way he does in T20 cricket. So for me, T20 cricket is really helping the players. But as far as the role of Cheteshwar Pujara and Hanuma Vihari is concerned, we will always see those players in test team, and we need those players in a test team so that the others can play around them. If Cheteshwar Pujara doesn't play the new ball and doesn't make it old, then the likes of anyone who comes to bat at 5 and 6, they won't have this luxury to go and increase the run rate from first ball, right? They have to do the job that Cheteshwar Pujara was doing, right? And their skill set is not that, right? So for each position, we need players with different skill sets. So that's why Test cricket is so special.
Yeah. That's one of the valid points made. So adding up to this, now India has won in Australia, and as far as I know, in the world cricket, Australia is one of those countries whom they, it's like a pinnacle of, whether you judge a team, you look how they have played in Australia. So now if India have won the series there twice back to back. So now, sir, what do you think? Is going to be the goal of this team? Is it a country like New Zealand where they haven't won, or is it going to be England?
It's all of them. It's all of them. And Deep's made a brilliant comment about the World Test Championship. That is the reason why India wanted to win this match more than anything, because they think if they've now beaten Australia in Australia, the chances are if Australia come to India and play in the Test Championship, uh, India has the upper hand in that series. So your direct rival, you are getting better. You are having a net better record against that team. So again, that was driving there. And if India beat England when England tour there, even if it's 2-0 or 3-0, they only have to win one test match in England when their team comes here, and they will maintain that second position. So I think that's important. Again, winning in South Africa and winning in New Zealand is very important for India to do those two things, because once they have done that, that will happen. I look at it like this now. India is the only country which has 8 or 9 brilliant bowlers that can come in and bowl in any partnership. So if you look at Australia, if they lost Pat Cummins, that is a second-rate bowling attack. Yeah. If England lose Jimmy Anderson and Stuart Broad, they will then become a second-rate bowling attack. If Pakistan lose Shaheen Shah Afridi, they will be a second bowling attack. So you look at all these teams, other than South Africa, who seem to be producing the bowlers, no other team is producing the bowlers India is producing. India then has the spinning options. They have Yuzi Chahal, they have Kuldeep, they have Washington Sundar, they have Ashwin for another 2-3 years, they have Jadeja for another 2 years. So that is 5 bowlers, 5 spin bowlers who will be the first choice in any other team. Yeah. So you've got that. And now you've got the youngsters coming in. Shubman Gill, he'll be the first batsman on most of the team sheets across the world. Rishabh Pant now probably is going to be the best batting all-rounder, batting wicketkeeper, all-round skills. He'll probably be one of the best in the world. So India is growing the strength from strength. I think, as I said, we people criticize Shastri, but this is the work of Rahul Dravid. And once Rahul Dravid becomes the coach, and they sort out Kohli's captaincy, take him off the captaincy, India will dominate cricket for 5 to 10 years, in my opinion, which the media will then say, okay, test cricket is not good format, they'll try the other formats. And this happened with the West Indies. When the West Indies were dominating cricket, what happened? Nobody liked it, and they then changed the rules. But thankfully, the BCCI is very strong and will not allow that to happen. And all the countries know India is where the money is, and where the paisa is, people want to go. So we are kind of lucky that the BCCI have the paisa, and hopefully with this work in this thing, we will see India dominating not just Test cricket, ODI cricket, but maybe even T20 cricket for the next few years. Countries will be able to win the T20 World Cup because that's what they will focus on. But for me, if as long as India win the Test series, the World Test Championship, that means more to me than even the T20 World Cup.
Yeah, actually, BCCI is called one of the richest boards of world. With they have a lot of powerhouse with them as well. So Deep, if we look at the rankings of the World Test Championship, India is at the top, and I don't think so. Australia is going to come near to second position as well. So now we are looking at a team like only if India, loses this series against England, which is very unlikely to happen. So if we are, just like a wild guess of having India and New Zealand in the final at Lords, who do you think will have an upper hand? Because India has lost in England because of not, they are not good at playing the ball swinging in or maybe swinging out. That's the reason they lost in uh, New Zealand as well, England as well, and even in South Africa. So, who do you think will have an upper hand in England?
Right. So as far as India is concerned, if a full strength India is playing, when I say full strength, so then the bowling attack should be Jasprit Bumrah, Ishan Sharma, Mohammad Shami, Ashwin Jadeja. So all these should be fit. Then I think India will have upper edge over New Zealand. But it all depends on the first 30 minutes of the session, that how the Indian openers play that. Otherwise, we can see the World Cup semi-final memories will start haunting India once again.
Right, right, right. Okay, so on that note, I have a last, one question for both of you. Now, India is looking ahead to play England. Do you think with Johnny Bairstow not been there and all the responsibilities on Joe Root and Jos Buttler, and also I have heard after the first test, Jos Buttler is coming back. So, do you think that side is a little bit not as strong as they were in 2017 where they lost 5-0? So do you think they are a bit weaker or maybe inexperienced one?
It's an interesting question because a lot of the fans here in England, they do not want Johnny Bairstow or even Jos Buttler wicket keeping batting for England. So they would prefer Ben Folkes. So they will get their wish. Uh, yeah, Ben Folkes is a good wicket keeper. Batsman wise, he doesn't give you the flair Johnny Bairstow or Butler gives you. So I think England are going to be weaker. And again, they will struggle because I say you look at the Indian bowlers in Indian conditions, it's going to be very tough for them. It's going to be very tough. The weather, I say they're playing in Sri Lanka now, it has been kind, but playing in India, it will be a big test for them. What will benefit England is there won't be any crowds at the ground. So we must not discount that because no crowds means less pressure on the batsmen. They can play a bit more freely. And I think England are going into the series without any fear, which is more dangerous because a team that doesn't fear if they win or lose can be dangerous. But I think really India are strong favourites, and I'd be surprised if they don't win at least three test matches.
Right, right, right. Okay, Deep, if I may ask you, who are going to be your 4 or 5 bowlers for Indian team having, if we have full strength in this series, who they will be?
Right. Since Jadeja is already ruled out, so I won't take his name. So for me, so in India, you always need two spinners will definitely be there. So Washi at 6. I'll put Pant at 6, Washi at 7, right?
Okay.
So then Ashwin will be at 8, right? And then so Ishant is fully fit, so he will definitely play,
Yes.
right? Then there will be a toss up between Siraj and Shardul for the spot, and then there will be Bumrah. And in some matches we will need Kuldeep Yadav, so there will be a toss up between Shardul, Siraj, and Kuldeep. So when I have to go, so if I have to pick one, So I'll pick Shardul over Siraj in Indian conditions. And if I need spinner, then Kuldeep will replace them.
Okay, so you have
So
replaced Washington Sundar, and you're not playing Hardik Pandya, given
no,
that
I'm
he's
not
not
playing.
bowling, right?
Yes, exactly. Hardik Pandya as a pure batsman doesn't fit in any test 11. So he has to give at least 15 to 20 overs in order to be there in the 11. So otherwise he doesn't fit.
And sir, your thoughts?
I slightly disagree. I love Umesh Yadav in India. Yeah, Umesh Yadav is absolutely brilliant in Indian conditions. So I try to get Ishant and Umesh in, but I think Suraj, you have to probably play Siraj because Siraj looks really dangerous, and he has that fire. I know Shardul has the fire too, but it's a toss up. But I think Umesh Yadav again in Indian conditions, his record in India is superb. So Umesh could come in. But it's a shame. Bumrah will definitely be there. But the thing is, India have the options. And again, I agree with Deep that probably Washington and both Ashwin will play. And I don't think Hardik will play if he can't bowl. If he can't bowl, Hardik won't play unless it's a green wicket and they say, okay, Hardik can bowl 6 to 7 overs, one innings and then they can switch the bowlers around. But two spinners is a must. I'm more interested in the England setup because I think England will have a lot of choices, and if they lose quite badly in the first Test match, then the pressure will be on them, and then they could make the bad decisions with their lineup. So personally, I think India is coming in with such a high. They don't really have to change that much, but the batting lineup will be interesting because I think both Rohit and Shubman will be brilliant in Indian conditions as well. So the batting speaks for itself. I don't really see a problem. Whoever bowls, whoever bats, India, player for player, are a different level to England.
Right, right. That's very valid point because I remember in the last series against South Africa, Ishant Sharma and Umesh Yadav both got a bunch of good wickets. So on that note, I'll try to thank you both of you. Surinder Paji is joining with us live from UK, and also Deep, joining in such a cold nights. So thank you all. And on that note, please subscribe to Cricket Lads if you want to see more stories or around cricket. So that's it from my side. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Bharat. Have a great night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Keep up the good work.